So if all you want to do is have a single sheet that has all of the links to your students' work on it, just so you have a nice, neat place to go to see your students' work, then you're done. But if you want to take this a step further and send students feedback via email on what they've turned in, I suggest using an add-on called formMule. And what you'll want to do before you even try to use formMule is you'll want to create a column up here for feedback. So I'm going to call this feedback 1210. So I'm going to give this feedback on December the 10th. Then I'm going to go over to add-ons. Now I already have formMule as an email merge utility. You will probably need to go to Get Add-ons and search for formMule up here. You can see it's right here. It usually comes up pretty high to the top. It's very popular, as you can see, over almost 5 million users. It's a very popular mail merge add-on. So then once you've installed it, you go to Add-ons, Form Mail, and I've launched this already one time in this sheet making this video. Normally it would say Launch right here, so you'll choose Launch. I'm just going to go ahead and go to Setup. It'll look the same from here on out. So the first screen pops up, and you'll want to choose Form Responses 1 here. And we're going to leave both of these off for now. There might be a reason to turn them on later, but you would never want this particular sheet to have a Send on Form Submit, because you wouldn't have had time to give the feedback yet when the student submits the link in the form. You might want to do it on a timer, but I think most of the time the most practical thing to do is to send them manually. So then we're going to click Next, Template and Send Conditions. We just need one email template. We'll send for all rows. Save template settings. Then Edit Templates. And this is where you will put in what you want formMule to do. And this is what it'll look like when you first open it. So click in the 2, and over here are all of your column headings, right? So you want to send this to the email address because that's the student email address. You may want to type no reply here because you run the risk of getting hundreds of emails that say thanks. So if you put no reply, the students have to come talk to you face to face if they want to talk about the feedback you sent them via email. And then you can put a subject here. I'm just going to put feedback on your portfolio project. And then in this is the body of the email. And on here, since we did use a form that had a first name, I'm going to type Dear, and then hit a space, and then I'm going to click on this first name. Now notice in formMule, it kind of puts this first name colon. You don't want that because it would say Dear first name colon and then the student's first name. So we just want to back that out a little bit like this. Dear first name, and then comma, and then type a quick message to them about what this email is about. So something pretty simple, and then come down here. Now I suggest putting the link to the project. You wouldn't believe how many students can't remember where their project was or how to find it. So right here, while this is clicking, I'm just going to come to this Paste Your Link column, which is the link where students pasted the link in the form. And I'm just going to shorten this to your link. And then the link will be there. And then next, feedback 210. And I'll probably just leave that like that. So feedback on December 12th, or I'm sorry, December 10th. And then my feedback will go there. This is HTML friendly, so if you're comfortable with HTML tags, you can bold things, you can italicize them. For the sake of brevity, I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And then click Save and Preview. And so from here, you can see, okay, it's going to go to this student, there's his name, there's this, there's his link, and then there's would be my feedback if I had it. So for now, there's nothing to send yet. I don't want to send it, so I'm just going to save and preview, and then I'm going to X out. And now next, I'm just going to put some feedback in here, and then show you how it runs. Okay, so I have my nonsense feedback in here. Let's look and see how I'm going to use formMule to send this feedback. This column right here is your formMule column. By the way, it gets created when you launch formMule in this sheet. So now I'm going to go to add-ons. I'm going to go to formMule. I've already got it all set up, so I can skip the setup. I can go straight to preview and send all. So I can see it's going to try to send 6, and that's good because I have 6 entries over here, and I can kind of see what they're going to look like here. Okay. And if I like everything, if it looks like everything's going to be okay, then I can just send now. Now, of course, these are not going to go because those are nonsense email addresses that I have, but I'll go ahead and click send now and show you what happens. All right, so after formMule runs, you get this confirmation message about the email being sent. Now, because I use nonsense emails, when I go to my email address in this account, I'm going to get a bunch of notifications of bounced email. So you do get a bounced email if it's an improper or typographical error type email address. But what if I wanted to send feedback again? Let's say that this is formative assessment and I want to send the same feedback again a week later. The first thing that I would do is make another column, call it feedback 12.17 for a week later, and of course put my feedback in. The next thing you want to do is go to this column and delete these entries. Just highlight them, not the column and not the header, but just the entries. Click the delete key to delete them. So once you've deleted this information and you've got feedback for the next week, go to add-ons, formMule, setup, and then go to build and preview templates. Now once it brings you to this page, you'll see the email that you created before, and with the feedback 1210 you can either leave that or delete that line, but you'll notice you now have another column called feedback 1217. So I'm going to click in here and click that, and now that's going to put feedback 1217. It will include the feedback you gave on the 10th. If you don't want to, you could just highlight that and delete it. I think there are good reasons both ways. Fresh start to get just one set of feedback, and to show growth over time to include all of the feedback they've received throughout the project. And then it would just click save and send all. You'll see it's going to send 6 emails just like last time, two different pieces of feedback, and you click send now. And it's the same process. You've got the email here, confirmation that it was sent and when it was sent, and you've got your 2 columns of feedback, and you could just continue to grow this week to week if you wanted to. Now, one thing that people have asked me about is when you delete this, then you no longer have that quote-unquote proof that you sent the email with the feedback, but you do. It's in your sent folder in whatever account you are creating these in. It's not going to be in your inbox unless they bounce, but you can find them all in your sent folder. So that's it. That's how to use formMule to send feedback when students submit links outside of your regular LMS.